Well, apparently, the one thing this show has in a bloody abundance is daughters. Like, what the hell? This reproduction rate is scary. There are girls everywhere. And the Scotsman's daughters are A1 100 classic. They are fine. They are a fine set of ladies. So, well, what do you know? This video actually came out on time. I hope it comes out before Sunday is done, because normally my videos comes out Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays if we look at it. But I woke up this morning and I'm just like, okay, gotta get Jack. And I went to the website where I normally get it from, Kiss Anime. You all know, let's get over it. And it wasn't there, it wasn't available, and I was like, okay, they only had like 10 seconds. And I was like, okay, time for the next best thing. And I scoured everywhere looking for it. I couldn't find it. And I just said, well, YouTube. Because I know there's always one bastard who uploads like 5 parts of an episode. I don't know how. I don't think the person has ads running. Anyway, I went there and I saw these 5 parts. And while I was searching, I saw this picture of the Scotsman dead, and I'm like, what? No, I held my heart like, no. I thought it would be something where the Scotsman lives as he's old, he'll go and find Jack and everything. But that image of him, his dead skeleton, just scared me. And I was like, ugh, spoilers. I hate spoilers. I told you, you can't spoil something for me. I always end up spoiling it for myself, because if I hadn't read anything or looked up anything, I wouldn't have found it. But let's try and get back into this episode. So we have people, I think they're people from different clans or people that came together to fight. Because you see people in their tanks, people on their rhinos, I think. And then when this lady just came in, I was like, ooh, goddamn. Then all the other girls, and are all these the Scotsman's son? Are all sons? Wow, are all these Scotsman's daughters? Like, his wife, well, she does have them birthing hips, but his wife got busy. He and his wife, oh my god. I hope he has more than one wife. I pray so, because one woman giving birth to all of this is more terrifying than one woman giving birth to 7 kids at once. And the part where the Scotsman scolds his daughter, like, are you going out dancing? Oh my god, it was perfection. And yeah, that's true. I always remembered Aku's lair. We don't know where it is, we don't know where it's located, but I guess it's on Earth now, and maybe it's where the tree was back in the first 3 episodes of season 1. But when you think about it, where that tree was close to where Jack's home was, and there was an episode where Jack actually found his hometown. I don't know how he's still alive and not in ruins. This planet must be really big, so that means Aku's lair is right next door to that. But I hope you guys are actually following me. But in this case, they find the lair, everywhere is like barren and wasted. And I guess it only makes sense that he has a force field, but then why would he have a force field when his lair is hard to find? And another thing that comes to mind is, if Aku has been around for all these times, this is the future basically, but we don't know how far into the future. But because there's aliens and flying cars, we think it's really far ahead. You'd think that he's destroyed everything by now. Like, you see little settlements of people still happy and living, and I'm like, how is that possible? Because you've made it very clear that Aku has destroyed everything, and if he's lived long enough, for maybe 3,000 years, let's give it that, nothing would survive. Even Jack's hometown, I don't see the ruins still being there, because right now in this earth on this planet that we are right now, there's no ancient civilization. People have broken it down, checked it, rebuilt it, whatever. I like the part where Aku was playing with his goatee. I like it when he plays it with like his 2 fingers just dragging it down, letting it go. I just like that. It's just a calming motion. Someone make that into a GIF or a GIF or whatever you prefer to pronounce it. Aku sees the army coming at him and he's like, maybe if I kill everybody, I'd be happier again. He sprays out and just turns into this big ball and destroys everything in his path. Like, I've stopped seeing Aku as a big threat because of Jack, But you have to remember, Aku nothing can harm him. Guns, normal swords, whatever. Nuke the bastard. He won't die. So when he goes up against Jack, Jack all he has to do is point out his sword and Aku is hurt. So I got this image in my head that, okay, yeah, if this army comes and attacks him, they might win. But nope. He just took him out because he is the shape-shift. He is the shape-shifting master of darkness. So he can turn into anything and just turn into a big gigantic ball of a mass that's like a black hole and just destroying everything. He doesn't have to turn into all those crabs or snakes or whatever he used to turn into. And he just decimated everything, and the Scotsman is like, wait, do we just call him the Scotsman? Doesn't he have a name? And his daughters are really pretty. God damn it. I like the one with the little wolf thing on her coat. Meh. So he says, okay, we gotta bolt, we gotta leave. This was a bad idea. And I'm like, you think? And he's telling his daughters to run. Aku kills everybody. He's still depressed. And he's like, well, let's just really kill everybody. It won't be a full annihilation unless everybody's dead. The Scotsman comes and he just rips Aku to shreds. You big baby. Oh god. He laid down the smack. He laid down the hurt. He insulted Aku. Oh god, it was beautiful. And at one point I actually became scared because you know Aku to be merciless. Like the fact that I saw the skeleton and everything just made me feel like, okay, something's gonna happen. Then instantly Aku just eye blasts the sucker to death. His sword goes and I'm like, no. Well, his daughters will avenge him. I just already started predicting what will happen. Like, okay, maybe the daughters would take their dad's broken sword and go find Jack and beg him to help, and then Ashi will be there not believing Jack is innocent, and maybe she might get jealous because the girls will be too into Jack. Who knows? But then you gotta really look at the creep factor here. The Scotsman, if he was the same age as Jack, that means how old he is, that's how old Jack would be. But I don't know if the Scotsman is exactly the same age as Jack because he had a wife, but that doesn't even make sense. What I'm trying to say is his daughters now could be older than Jack as he's frozen in time, or his same age. So Jack having a relationship with them, like with How I Want Him and Ashi, would be like the Scotsman's old age self. So I get the creep factor people are looking at. And yeah, whatever happens, happens. And then the Scotsman comes back as a ghost, and I'm like, really? I like it, but really? I would take any chance for him to come back, but then you have to think of the fact that he's a ghost now, so he will roam the planet for all eternity, never having any rest. But he did said it was Keltic magic, so maybe when he's finished what he set out to do, he can move on to the other side, the afterlife, in peace. So he's like, we'll amass a bigger army. Oh god, my Scottish accent is just so off today. I'm more good with Indian accent. He said he will amass a bigger army and come back and we'll find Jack. Then I was like, yes, that's where you made a mistake. You should have found Jack first. And now the Scotsman is like how he was back in his prime, and it was just, I just can't wait till he meets Jack and Ashi. I cannot wait for the insults that will come there. The voice actor that came back, you can feel his energy, you can feel how happy he is to be reprising this role. And I just love it. And I know I've said love it a lot in this review, but moving on. Ashi is still having doubts, and like I said, I don't see her just transitioning in that last episode. She should have some second thoughts, and we're only human. Everybody has second thoughts. Everybody doubts what they do, and she's seeing a vision of her mother. Her mother is saying, may Aku punish you. She's here trying to ask questions, and that's what any kid wants, any child wants. You just want to know the truth. You don't like being lied to, you don't like being deceived to. And Ashi just looks for the truth. And yeah, some people might say, yeah, her redemption was a little too quick, but you gotta look at it from the standpoint of she's been isolated, and we humans, we are born with a sense of right and wrong. And you can see in the last episode how she was just absolutely on this side. But she is human after all. She does have a brain. He keeps saving her. He keeps doing things that contradict. And even as her mom's vision told her, he will do anything to deceive and to trick. Humans, we still have that thing in our heart, like, okay, what if? That's what's just beautiful about being alive and being a human being. We just have that question of what if, and sometimes it leads us to some wrong things, but other times it helps us a lot. Then Ashi hears Jack running or something, and she sees him jump into the water, and I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna think he abandoned her, she's gonna revert back to her old ways. But instantly he just pops out with like a slither snake serpent, and the scene with them on his back was just delightful to me. They go under, they come up, and I was like, tell me this thing flies. But no, it reminded me a bit of the dragon scene in How to Train Your Dragon, when, oh boy, I forgot their names, Hiccup, and I will remember this girl's name.
A few moments later.
Astrid, yeah, Astrid. I actually googled it, you guys, you will not believe. Like, I refuse to not remember. So the serpent drops them, and Jack thanks the creature. Ashi still sees a little bit of his kindness. I actually thought the dragon would talk. We've seen it happen multiple times, but he just goes away. Jack turns and looks at her. Well, he just glances at her, and there was this little awkward moment, like, okay, what's next? What are you gonna do next? And then Jack just says goodbye and turns and walks away, and I'm like, wait, what? That's no. Well, you know that's not where it ends, because I've seen like pictures of a fireplace, but I only saw Jack there. But I know it couldn't end. But a part of my brain was like, okay, Jack will go his separate way, meet the Scotsman, and Ashi will go and try and find the truth. And Jack still doesn't know that she's Aku's daughter. And a lot of people are asking me in the comments that they're confused, that is Ashi, they feel like Ashi is Jack's daughter, and I'm like, how does that even make sense to you? Do you feel like Jack had an affair with somebody, she got pregnant, and then raised his daughters to kill him? That would be an amazing storyline, by the way. But I really do believe that she is the sire of Aku, for whatever reason that you may believe. And it will be so amazing when Jack finds out. But for now, let's get back here. I'm theorizing and discussing all at once. Ashi comes back to Jack when he's having this panic moment of seeing the dead in a fireplace, and she asks him that, tell me the truth. And Jack just basically has given up on her at this point, like, no, your hatred is absolute, I'm wasting my time. So like, no, I wanna know. So like, then Jack just said, they just have a back and forth basically, and she basically insults him, turns to walk away, believing that he is just lying, he's not telling her the truth. Then he said fine, and I'm like, wait, what? Why? She just insulted you and then you agree? You could have agreed before the insult, dude. But then Ashi sits down. He said, we'll do it in the morning. And she just being a child, like just grunting and doing whatever. She goes on top of her rock, lays down, and just asks Jack, Aku created the stars, didn't he? And Jack actually had a moment of stammering and like, what? It's rare to see Jack actually speechless. He's so articulated. Then he tells her a story that his mother told him, and it was so colorful and pretty. I don't know if it was Ashi's imagination, but if it is, she was just meant to be different, you guys. And you see that in her mother's words really tormenting her, or the words that she projected her mother made. I don't really think her mom came to talk to her at that point, you guys. So for those of you who are going to ask, no, I just feel it's like Ashi having a subconscious battle, and she just happened to wake up as the sun came up. Anyway, the mom told her, you've always been the weakest link. Like I said, she was the runt of the litter, but as the weakest link, she was just the only one that's left alive. So take that, High Priestess. Middle finger emoji. The next day, Jack just takes Ashi, and I think that's the best thing to do to show someone, because if you say something, they might not believe you, but if you show them, then yeah, you could say, okay, you could show someone a lie, but he takes her to places, shows her things that, unless, like, you just cannot deny it. And I feel like, okay, does that mean the High Priestess too can also be redeemed? And I don't want her redemption, because she basically killed her own children, or sent her own children to death. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, Aku was the wrong one. No, I don't see the High Priestess ever changing. She might know the truth, I believe unless you were not raised in isolation, you wouldn't know the truth. And then the whole thing of Aku killing this whole forest and leaving one tree to show his power, that just didn't make sense to me on a dictator or a tyrannical level, because that one tree could always show hope of, okay, Aku could kill everything, but he will leave one thing, or one thing must survive. Like, no, if you're gonna destroy everything, destroy it all at once. We see the city center for Aku HQ. Oh god, what am I trying to say? I think I've seen this city before. I think it was a city that Jack lost his shoe, I think. But anyway, Jack gets dressed in all these clothes. As he's picking the clothes, I'm just like, no. Oh, sweet God, no. And when they come up the elevator and Ashi's just looking at him and he just has this straight face, and I'm like, girl, I get it. He looks ridiculous. You're not the only one. A bounty hunter comes in, asks for a place to stay because he's been exiled from his own home, his own world, because he's a killer. And you see in this show that there are humans everywhere, aliens and everything. So do you think Aku spread the life there? Or I'm not Ashi here that Aku created everything, but I just want to know, you know? They show the assassin this cute little village of people living happily, which I say it's actually not rare to find people who would live and Aku's hate will not reach them. But well, it's spreading now, so after all this time you'd think that the world would just be a molten rock of death by now. The assassin just says, but there are people living there. The guy at the computer says, is that a problem? He said no, and that whole way he said the no was creepy. Oh my god, his smile is creepy. Is this guy a clown or something? I don't have a fear of clowns. I think people who are afraid of clowns is a ridiculous fear to have, but maybe it's because I realized they watched the It movie when they were kids, so boohoo for you. Jack continues showing Ashi all the destructions, the dead corpses of animals that in my brain tells me is cows, but I know it to be some kind of cool foreign space animal. Ooh, a foreign space cow. Alien cow! Oh god, Nickelodeon, do not turn that into a cartoon. I know you people are pandering for the lowest form of entertainment as well. Okay, this review is getting really long and I'm only on the 4th part. Let's try and lightning through this thing. Jack and Ashi finally come to another town where Jack says just death everywhere, and then there's just one person who lives and he has this whole coughing skit that I'm like, just shut up and tell us what happened. He said they took the children. And there's this whole walking scene into the place where the children were, and Jack he actually made the suit work. It looks good on him from the back. And then the kids come, Jack says run, Ashi says do you hear that? And then I was like, oh my god, that scene in the trailer, those ravaged things were children. Are you kidding me? This is demonic when you have it on paper, but the way they depict it isn't as terrifying as it could have actually been. Ashi goes and tries to stop the machine. I need to actually start saying what I'm talking about instead of calling it the thing. Robot claw arms come at her, she jumps through them. If you can tell, I'm trying not to use the words and then or next and also, because I realize I use them a lot in a review and I just need to say what's going on. The robot arms catch Ashi in a starfish position and I'm just like, that must be painful. The robot comes out, just I don't even know. Turns out it wasn't even a robot, it was just a dick ass human in a costume. And Jack is just trying to get free of these children, these ravaging beasts that are just there to kill him. And he tries his best, but at the end of the day, he just couldn't do it. Did I mention the part of Ashi getting electrocuted was painful? Like that, it's not even like the quick shock of like 1,000 volts will kill you, but he's doing it slow and painfully, just torturing her. Like, okay, let me go and recharge and we can continue the fun. Then he makes fun of Jack because he can't kill the innocent. And then you remember that Jack killed her sisters but left her, so does that make her innocent? And then the guy just goes into this whole rant of how children are so easily manipulated. Just a chip to the back of the head, do this, do that, like. And then you gotta look at the foreshadowing of, well, is it foreshadowing or backshadowing? What's the opposite of foreshadowing? Whatever. You gotta look at it from the stance of, okay, Ashi too was a child, she believed what her mother said, so she was manipulated, and she just used that anger of his words, and just, a part of me was like, the daughter of Aku is about to attack. Like, the face she made was scary. I actually thought she'd tap into some of the powers of Aku, just use his superhuman strength and just break out. But then I remember someone telling me in the comments that they may not actually be Aku's daughters. They might just be children, surrogated something to get 7 of them, which is also plausible. It's plausible for the fact that there were 7 babies born at separate times and they made them feel like they were one. Because at this point, I just expected some superhuman strength, but you can just see she just tried her best to get out. And you could say, well, it was the strength she got from Aku's side or whatever, but no, look at that face. She is trying her best to get out. She's using her own strength here. And if she isn't the daughter of Aku, then that's just amazing. But this guy is electrocuting the crap out of her, but she is just not having any of it. I just love that inner strength, inner fight of, yeah, you dead. She just beats the crap out of him. There's this scene where she's just standing there, arms crossed in the dark. You could say that, okay, yeah, that's Aku's side, but no, I don't believe it is. The children, the chip at the back of their heads electrocuted them. You can see where they get the shock, and I think Jack feels like they just died, and I'm like, but you didn't do anything, dude. You were just fighting them off. But Jack may feel like, okay, it was too late. He didn't fight hard enough, and you can just see the mental insanity take over. Oh my god. Then the horsemen came, and well, some of us were right. It is a personification of death. No. Aku is the personification of evil. This is just, I think, oh boy. He just comes for Jack. He said it is time, and Jack said yes. And we know Jack has been running away from this entity for a long time, and they just disappear into the smoke. And in my head, I'm just like, oh no, Jack, come back, they're alive, come back. And as Ashi comes, she was like, samurai? You know how she says it's samurai? She comes, I actually thought this was a litter of dead children corpse. My skin wanted to go cold, but then one of them opens his eyes. Ashi's happy. She's like, we did it. But Jack is not there, and then that makes you seem, oh god, she might think he abandoned her, because that's a tone I really don't want. She might run into the Scotsman. Who knows where Ashi will go now, because she can't find him, and I don't think this creature took him to a place that's on this plane of existence, because with the smoke and everything, they might have just disappeared somewhere. Jack might be taken to trial to go to die. Oh no, there are too many possibilities, too many things that could go wrong. And oh my sweet god, this video is long. I'm looking at the timer right now. How? I didn't even think. At 4 minutes I was like, okay, this video is I'm gonna end this video very quickly. I'm almost done. But how did I get this far? Wow. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I hope I'm one of the only YouTubers who got this out on time, and I wish that others don't get the video as quickly, so I can for once in my life be the first one to upload a review. But man, I know that's not possible. Also, if you hear anything in the background, there are a lot of different background music that these cartoon reviewers use, and I don't know where they get them from, and I found them the other day. And when I realized that a lot of them use it, and I'm like, I don't want to use it too. I don't want to be a copycat. So for that, you must have heard the array of different background musics I've put. And I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, thanks y'all so much for clicking to watch. Please don't forget to read my books on Wattpad, support me on Patreon, and follow me on Twitter. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay awesome. This is TBC signing out.